Welcome back, guys. And I know that last video was quite long. It had a lot of personal and background stuff, but today I just wanted to talk a little bit more about, starting something new, starting, a YouTube channel and starting a journey, I guess. And so while I collect a little bit more cobblestone so that we can work on the roof, I wanted to talk about sort of being a little too nervous, being too embarrassed to start something. In my case, I guess it would be sort of just this YouTube thing. I mean, talking to myself in a microphone, staring at a screen, wondering what people are going to judge. I mean, I'm 24, basically in an attic right now, just talking to myself, playing a children's block game. I mean, you can't get a little bit more, you can't get more judgmental than that. And I think that's kind of what I wanted to talk about a little bit today, because I feel like a lot of people my age, if they're in similar experiences, they might be struggling to do the things that they really want in life, and struggling to be a little bit creative, following all the trends. And I wanted to challenge everyone that ends up watching this to really step outside of your comfort zone, just like I'm doing here. I mean, this is pretty unique for me. I mean, I'm not usually the type of person to really sit down and just talk, but I feel like some things you just need to talk about. And I think a really good perspective on this is where I work. And so I mentioned in the last video that I happen to work with children, and that's given me a pretty unique perspective on sort of creativity and things that myself and maybe my peers at around my age group have lost. And it's that childlike creativity that we seem to lose as we get a little bit older. I remember we hosted some birthday parties for one of the kids that were enrolled in our sort of class. So we, like I mentioned before, we use Minecraft. We use Minecraft Education Edition to teach them different aspects of coding, which I'm very passionate about. And watching them at that birthday party, so there were about 8 of them, I guess, at that one birthday party, and it was just this childlike giddiness all around the room while they all played Minecraft. They all just did the most random of things, and it really brought me back to when I was around 12, when I was their age, frankly. First when I got Minecraft, I would go around. I had a super flat world, I remember. It's the first world I ever made back in, I think it was the horse update. And I remember very specifically, it was like a sandstone sort of super flat world. And I remember looking up this birch mansion tutorial, how to make a birch mansion. And I followed that to a T. It was wonderful. I had a bunch of chests and everywhere. And mind you, I did all this in creative as well. Just trying to be a little bit creative. And I went around to different buildings, and I had my own chemistry building. I had like a stable or something. And it's a little bit foggy right now because it's been so unbelievably long since I've kind of worked on that. But all that to say is, don't be afraid, I guess, to and I'm kind of telling myself this to keep going, is don't be afraid of, getting a little bit out of your comfort zone, being a little bit creative, doing something that people might traditionally tell you, hey, that's cringy, or that's embarrassing, or you shouldn't do that because it's for kids or something like that. Because something I've found with that last upload that I did was it's actually quite fulfilling. Even it felt really good to just sit down and sort of talk about what I had going on in my life. And I feel like a lot of people my age see on social media of kind of what you're sort of expected to be doing, sort of how you're expected to act, the sort of things that you're expected to have, expected to do, expected this, expected that. And as much as those things are often good guidelines on what you could be doing or maybe should be doing or maybe things that you might enjoy, most of the time I don't think that's truly what we really want. Obviously there are some outliers. There are some people that are, born to do one specific thing, and I envy those people because frankly this entire experience of moving away, getting out of college and just sort of existing, I guess, and the job market not being so great for anyone in tech at the moment, especially people in government related positions. For example, my specific experiences with trying to get a job in cyber are quite troublesome. Even just getting a tier one tech support job has been unbelievably difficult to get even an interview with most places, let alone something in the government right now with everything we've got going on. And that kind of made me think. I've always watched YouTubers. Ever since I was really young, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I remember watching even Jacksepticeye or Markiplier, PewDiePie, Sky Does Minecraft, which, unfortunately didn't turn out to be all that great of a role model, but I digress a little bit. But all of these people were people that I had once looked up to or still do, and sort of envied what they did as a job. I mean, to any kid my age back then, sitting around playing video games and talking into a microphone, having fun with friends, just really seemed like the perfect job, I guess. And I've always tried to get into YouTube to some degree. I've made several different YouTube channels. This one, I have a couple others that do various different things for various different reasons. And there we go. That looks pretty good, actually. Maybe we'll add like a little fence post going up there, like a little railing. But I think that I had just been too scared to really commit myself to any of these. And I think a lot of other people are too scared to commit themselves to something else as well. And maybe the situation that they're in doesn't particularly allow for it, which that's okay. That's a little bit unfortunate, and I'm very fortunate that the situation I find myself in at the moment does permit for me to sort of do this, or at least attempt it, I guess. But I never really thought that talking into a microphone and just sort of venting how I feel would be something that I was doing at the current moment in time. I mean, I went to school. I was told, go to college. You'll get a really good job out of college, and that's the way that everyone does things. Do I have auto jump on? Okay, I don't. And that's the way everyone does things, and you should be doing that because that's the right thing to do. And just I was kind of just following what everybody else was telling me to do, and kind of letting all of my passions and desires sort of slip through my fingers. And something I've kind of realized as well pretty recently with everything going on within my family, all the troubles that we've been having health-wise, is life is unbelievably fleeting. And it feels like just yesterday that I was very young and I had all the time in the world, and I was just wishing time away day after day, wishing for the next summer break, wishing for the next winter break, wishing for that next weekend when I could spend more time on the computer, spend more time with my friends and everything like that. And, once you you sort of understand, at least in once you're in college, that like, hey, time moves a little bit faster, and all of a sudden you're all the way done, and you're done with your classes, you're done with homework, you're done with all of this, and you get shoved out into the real world with varying levels of support depending on who you have. And that shit's really scary. I mean, I would watch these YouTubers and these other people talk about how life after college is scary, and I would kind of dismiss it because everything on social media, on all of the content that I would watch, all the movies, all the TV shows that would glamorize adulthood and just like show me all the good things, and like all the Hallmark movies and all of that kind of stuff, where like adulthood is just this magical place, and through the lens of a kid where you can do anything, and you have this magic little debit card thing or credit card, and that allows you to, buy ice cream for dinner on the weekends or on the weekday, or like, you can go out and do whatever you want on a Tuesday just because you can. And while having those freedoms is especially freeing as an adult, I won't sit here and lie and say that it's not freeing. It is definitely a little bit. It's quite nice being able to sort of have the agency to allow yourself to do whatever you want and really find what you enjoy and what you're passionate in. But at the same time, the crushing reality of existence and the fleeting reality of life as loved ones and grandparents and parents and even friends pass away, and people that you look up to sort of falling apart, and just things like that make it quite difficult to sort of want to continue, I guess. Even just living, I mean, life is unbelievably hard. Life is not easy like people make it seem. It's not quite as simple. I would like that iron. That is quite a few mobs. I'm gonna put that. Wait, I would like my torch to go right there. I need that iron because I would like a bucket and that water over there. But I'm also fully aware that I don't think I am quite equipped to handle that at the current moment in time. But that's all right. Which, funnily enough, I feel quite equally about life right now. I mean, I'm 24, but in my head, I think I'm barely 18 or barely 19. I've lived all these experiences, but I feel like things are going wrong in my life, and I've been looking for ways to figure out what I would like to do. And it's been being able to just kind of man up, I guess, and start something like making these videos and just talking and ranting and just trying to be myself in a sea of inauthenticity and extremism in social media and traditional media even. I quite dislike how traditional broadcast media only shows the negatives. It's having such a pessimistic worldview is detrimental to one's mental health, obviously. I mean, obviously nothing is all sunshine and rainbows, but if all you see is clouds and rain, then you're not really going to be able to appreciate the things that are good, are you? And I'm navigating that just like anybody else is. I'm perfectly normal. I'm just trying to figure out my way of doing things. And I feel behind. I feel unbelievably behind. It's humbling and depressing at the exact same time when I look at LinkedIn and I see peers and friends that I went to college with full-on jobs because either they graduated a semester before me or they stayed in the state where we went to school, so they were able to use the career collaborative opportunities. And I'm jealous. I'm very jealous of the success that they seem to have outwardly posting, and obviously social media is anything but real, and LinkedIn is a form of social media. I might just have to bite the bullet and kind of eat this real quick. I'm going to put something in a chest. Hold on. And obviously LinkedIn is somewhat of a social media platform in and of itself, but looking at any form of social media, anyone sees is just people doing better than them, and angry shit going on, and just, I mean, I wish there was a better way to describe that in my head, but it genuinely just feels like angry bullshit. People either being angry for some reason because something happened, or constantly seeing people that are doing better than you, or people that are more attractive than you, people that are stronger, people that are everything more than you. And I know I'm some random guy on the internet who just absolutely made a terrible decision jumping into this cave, but if I could tell you one thing, I guess, that I have been trying to internalize myself, it is that trust the process and trust yourself, because you are incredible. I'm incredible. You're incredible. Everyone you know is incredible. We're all existing here in the same vein, and we're all having to make unbelievably difficult decisions on a day-to-day basis. I wish that I had more cobblestone because I didn't want to waste wood on that. Can I grab this, please? Thank you. No, sir. I would like to... can I get rid of the torch? Oh, I think I can. No. No, Jesus. Okay, this might be a reset point, honestly. That's alright. You know, sometimes we just need a reset in our life. A night to, calm down. Oh, weave. I'm dead. Yeah. That's alright. I do need to make another sword. And get down there and just maybe relentlessly fight them. And I will attempt to talk while I do that as well. But I don't know who's going to watch this, but if even just for myself, you need to cut yourself a little bit of slack every once in a while. You know, nobody's inherently perfect immediately at anything or everything they do. God, this first-person perspective mod throws me off every time I use it. What are you doing? All right, come on, bro. I don't know. I'm doing this for me because I recognize that I have always wanted to do this. I'm trying something new, and I needed a space to vent my frustrations in a healthy, non-destructive manner. I would consider this to be healthy, but I'm currently fighting for my life at the moment. But just having kind of a conversation with myself and with anybody else who perhaps watches this in the off chance that they do, discourse is important. Other people's opinions are important, and I would like to listen to what other people have to say, because that's important to me. I need to leave. I keep screwing that up. That's all right. Yes, fight yourselves, please. I will regain my thoughts as soon as I get out of here. This might be a time-lapse moment really quickly because these skeletons are running me through the ringer at the moment. Please, bro, stop. Thank you. I'm gonna run out of food. Oh, okay, we're good, we're good, we're good. We're good. Oh, we're not as good. We're a little bit less good. Please, sir. No. Okay. You know what? I think we're going to abort this. Okay. I'm going to heal and I'm going to calm down a little bit because I'm slightly overwhelmed. And this might be a dig straight up kind of angle. I won't lie. Yeah, this is a dig up kind of angle. That's all right. You know, sometimes bailing is the right option. And knowing when to get yourself out of terrible situations is also important. Am I near the surface? You know what? That works. I hope it works. I see light. No, I don't. Okay. little nervous. A little nervous. Do I have... I would like to get myself out of this situation before I continue to talk. Is this a way out? Oh, it is. Yes. Oh, thank goodness. All right. Cool. I got it with some iron. I guess that's pretty cool. We take the small wins around here. We take the small wins. Aha, I have some coal. I should take that out and leave one in. Cool. Oh, and I have more food. I have a lot of food. What? I got my sword back. That's a bone meal. Do I have some seeds? Oh, I do have seeds. Cool. I should have the hoe. Oh, I grabbed it. Nice. Bucket, please. Cool. But yeah, I mean, YouTube is a pretty awesome platform. I mean, you get to share whatever you want with random people on the internet, but that also makes it quite scary. I mean, I'm sure anyone who's taken a public speaking class or has had to do a class presentation or any sort of experience where you're standing up in front of people and just, you know, yapping about something that you may or may not have prepared as well as you could have. That shit's terrifying. I hate that. I still hate that. And so, kind of sitting here and just leaving my feelings out in the open air and kind of doing whatever I can to... I'm just trying to do whatever I can to make life a little bit more fun and a little bit easier. Because holy shit, dude, the last 2 weeks have been absolutely fucking miserable. I've really disliked how my life has taken a turn in the last couple weeks, and I understand that I fully cannot control anything that's going on. I mean, health issues between grandparents and family members, and then dying relationships that you thought would last forever, or things that nobody wants to really deal with or experience. But you know, here I am trying to deal with it in the best way I know how, which is making a... I don't want to call it shitty, but it's definitely not a top tier build, I would say. I definitely could do a little better than this. But you know, small beginnings aren't bad. I mean, I know a bunch of people have What was... Is that this? Firefly bush. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you can stay. Yeah. I don't really know where I was going with that, but I'm just appreciative to have the platform to kind of talk and just play the game that play a game, I guess. There's been I've played a lot of games, but play a game that I have had the privilege of playing for such a long period of time. I mean, I'm sure that I'm not the only one that has played this game for at or above half of their lifespan. And that's pretty cool. And it also kind of holds a special place in my heart. I mean, everyone when they're a kid, or at least I definitely did when I was a kid, was, you know, I wanted to be a Minecraft YouTuber. I tried. I remember this server is called Munchie MC. And why are you there? No, 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 no. Excuse me, sirs, gentlemen. I was about to start another story. My calcium blessed friends. I I don't are you okay? Are you I think they're okay. I would like your calcium. Weave. You missed. Oh, I almost strafed into that one. All right, come on. Let's get this over with. No, oh, you have got to go. You hit the first shot. There we go. You can fight. All right, that's fine. I'll take that. But as I was saying, there's a server it's called Munchie MC. And I think it was right around when the... Sorry, I got a little bit distracted with this arrow in my shoulder. But there's a server it's called Munchie MC. And I think it still exists. And there's this Maze Runner game mode that I used to play with a bunch of my middle school friends, and I uploaded a video on it on a different channel. Has my like original Minecraft username, which, you know, as much as I just said to like be brave and like kind of, you know, experience things and try things that are new and, you know, put yourself out there, that username is definitely not flattering at all. So I'm not going to share that information. But I digress a little bit. That is not age 7, is it? Where do I see that? Age 7. Oh, you are fully grown. Cool. Thank you, sir. That one's not. That's probably age 6, I would assume. Oh, that is age 7. Never mind. I have been mistaken several times. But yeah, so we were playing the Maze Runner game mode. And we'd sit there for literal hours, man. I mean, we would just grind the ever-living shit out of that video game. Like, that specific mini game, to the point where we had strats, dude. Like, I think we would, like, it was, like, defend the princess or something like that. I think that was kind of the main objective, where you would defend if your princess died, you would not be able to respawn again, and then so you had to defend the princess, and so I have a very stark memory of defending the base that we had in the video I uploaded. I'm trying to find my little tunnel. There it is. I want to go back down there. Defending the base that we had, and we'd move our princess over into like one corner of our little like maze section. So if you remember the Maze Runner, which I'm gonna assume that anybody who's watching this probably knows what the Maze Runner is you had the central area in Maze Runner it was like a huge grassy patch, and then you'd have the maze outside of that. And so in the Maze Runner mini game on Munchie MC, you would have like 4 different teams, so they would each have their own grass patch and then a maze connecting all 4 of them. And so then because of that, I really hope there's not a whole lot of mobs down there. I'm going to be fighting for my life. But because of that, you could like tuck your princess away in like a corner behind like, I think you could buy blocks from like a shop or something. I have some time to do this. There we go. Awesome. So then I can do this. Cool. And so you could like, I think you could either buy blocks for your base, or you had like a special kit that could specifically, you had a kit that like came with blocks. I don't remember the full game mode anymore because it was like 2016 or maybe earlier than that, maybe 2015. But I just remember playing that a lot. And that game was an unbelievable amount of fun. I mean, we had everything between strats. We would have specific kits that we would run. Each of my friends in the friend group would have specific tasks that they would do. It's like, I think I was the one that was just always left to defend the base out of my own accord. I won't say that they forced me to do that. That was definitely my thing. Fortunately, unfortunately, however I would like to look on that, cherish that memory, etc. And so, I uploaded a video on that, and I tried to, I tried to edit it well. I'd been using Premiere for a little bit, and that was kind of my first real attempt at like being a Minecraft YouTuber, was that sort of like mini game. But, obviously like everyone just wants everything to happen instantly and instantaneously, and I didn't know how the algorithm worked or anything like that, and all of that advanced sort of stuff. So I just saw that I didn't get any views and assumed that, I was just not meant for me. And I just stopped trying for at least that specific. I know that that's not going to help. That's not going to be helpful, but I need a shield and I need some armor. But I just kind of assumed, yep, that's not for me. Maybe I'll try a little bit later. And then I tried a little bit with Build Battle, and I think I was like 13 or something. You can audibly hear the difference in my voice between that specific video and how I'm talking now and how everything else is, because I've grown up a little bit since then, right? I mean, everybody has. And I think the last 2 weeks or so have really made me sit down and think and be like, if not now, when? I mean, like it's a little bit corny. I mean, you sit there, I sit there scrolling YouTube shorts just like anybody else does, and I'd see those motivational shorts where it's like, if not now, when? Who's gonna carry the boats? All the David Goggins, Andrew Huberman, optimal morning routine, fucking AI podcast slop that there fucking is. And I kind of thought to myself, I was like, well, you've wanted to do this for how long? You've wanted to do this for so long. I've wanted to do this for pretty much exactly half of my life, and why haven't I? Why haven't I at least given it, a good efforted try where I'm consistent and I'm just talking about things and I'm just playing the video game that really brought my love for, frankly, computers at the end of the day. I mean, this was my first computer game. I got into TF2 and then Counter-Strike after that, and I've been playing Counter-Strike for almost 10 years, which is crazy to think about. But Minecraft was the game that got me into, like, digging into my computer, And I work in file systems now. I work in, Windows, Linux, not really Mac because I just, dislike that platform. But, for if I end up getting a tier 1 tech support job, I'm going to have to do the default, Active Directory password resets and just all this other garbage and stuff that's really not all that difficult, and troubleshoot issues. And troubleshooting was like my kind of thing, I guess, is I got really good at it because I had this old ass computer. It was some like NVIDIA 9000 something graphics card from like 2010 with a with like a Celeron or some really shitty AMD CPU from the time, to the point where I if I played Minecraft on like the lowest, like if I'm here in the render distance, like I would have to crank it down to like 2 or 4 with Optifine, by the way, and I would still only get 30 FPS. And then my dad ended up frying a power supply on one of the workstations that he bought. And so I would have the fortune of that actually worked out ideally. I would have the pleasure and the fortune to be able to use that one because he ended up just going back to the US on one of his flights, and he bought a Dell like a Dell Inspiron or something. I really don't remember what exact model it was, but I had that one, and that one had an Intel Pentium with integrated graphics, which were somehow still better than the NVIDIA 9000 series or what 6600 series or whatever I ended up with initially. And that's what allowed me to play Minecraft at, funnily enough, I think around this frame rate. Actually, if you look in the top left, I'm running at about 120 with, distant horizons on and a shader pack and everything along that line. I mean, we see the pillager outpost over there. I might go head over there. Let's go on a little adventure after I sleep. Let's sleep first. Let's be a little bit smart about this. Do I actually have distant horizons on? I do. Cool. And so yeah, we got that computer, but before that I was downloading Optifine. I was going into my Windows power plan, Windows like performance settings where it made the desktop text look all terrible and stuff, and optimizing every little thing I could, every tweak that I could do, looking up YouTube video after YouTube video on just how to get more FPS. And then it was pretty funny. I remember this one time, I'm not going the right way. I remember this one time I played hockey, and one of my good friends at the time, he I think had just gotten like an Alienware laptop, and so he had like a 980 or some good graphics card at the time where he could play like all of these games that I couldn't even imagine playing at like 200 FPS. And me being, I think I was like 12 years old or something, not understanding how computers worked, I looked up how to download Alienware software, thinking that software was the problem and not hardware. And now that I've aged 12 years and my kind of specialization in what I want to do in life has become technology, I understand now that that's not how that works. I mean, obviously there are like debloated operating systems like Atlas Windows or like Atlas OS or some other ones that I can't remember off the exact top of my head, but I know I've looked into those too as of semi-recently, to be honest, just because Counter-Strike 2 has a terrible 1% low issue at the moment, making the game feel like absolute dog shit. Don't do this, guys. Can you hit each other, please? Thank you. Wait, I have armor on now. That does not... Oh, wait, never mind. Never mind. I apologize. I will book it, actually, for a small amount of time. I'm going to assume that they're following me. Yep, they are. Okay. But yeah, now I understand that is not how that works. And software, oh, that looks really good. Ooh, a village. Actually, you know what? Pit stop. I'm going to go run there first. Ah, that's my phone alarm telling me to go to bed because it is midnight. It is about 12:30 as of recording this, but that's fine. I'm going to spend a little bit more time with you guys and we're going to talk. And I remember trying to see, like, can I download like Alienware software? And eventually, obviously, I started to realize that that's just like not how that worked. Whether that was because I found no resources online that would do anything like that, or maybe I actually did some mediocre research as a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, whatever. Um, Whatever I was at the time. What do you have for a trade? Cool. I don't care. Anything useful around here? You know, Iron Golem kind of useful. But now that I'm all grown, that sort of troubleshooting background, I guess, is something that I've really taken in stride. And I would like to think that I'm not bad at troubleshooting. Now, I mean, you know, with the advent of AI and everything under the sun AI related, making troubleshooting infinitely easier with its ability to find very niche problems and solutions to those niche problems on some random ass Reddit post from 2009, telling you, yes, you have this exact issue, fix it this way. Which I would assume is a universal experience for anybody that uses a computer and has had an issue of any kind. And I think that's pretty cool. And I think the experiences we have with our younger selves kind of shapes the person that we turn out to be. And kind of circling this all back, while I steal these crops, is like, it's scary putting yourself out there and putting yourself out there to talk and doing things that are new and exciting and very often very terrifying. I mean, seriously, like, new things kind of suck on the low. You know, things that are new, experiences that are new. You can plan out your life to the best of your ability, and life is always just going to be like, yo, no, you're not doing that. You're going to do this instead, or you're going to have this specific experience because, well, I told you so. And we all just have to find our own way of dealing with that. I mean, I'll bring it up again because I do feel very passionately about my most recent ex. She was, in my mind, quite literally perfect. And to quote the late Juice World, because I've been on kind of a little bit of a bit. He does happen to be my favorite artist as of recording this right now, and that probably will stand for a little while. But one of his songs very, very sticks out to me whenever I think about her, called Flaws and Sins. And basically, as far as I remember, maybe I'm completely stupid and getting this wrong, but the way that I kind of interpret his lyrics is, and the way that I think that he just straight up says them, is that, you know, he loves, I think, his girlfriend at the time, maybe Allie or whatever, even through all of her flaws and sins. And I think that's really important, and something that I really took to heart is, if you're going to love someone so deeply, you have to love them in kind of as who they are. I have completely lost the plot on where my house is. Did I kill the... That's definitely mine. And so... Alright, hello, sirs. We're going to block you off. Do I have a bucket? I did not get the bucket with water. Where is my house? I quite literally have no idea where I went. I might head back there, because I know that I have to just go to this place and go like this way or something. Oh, there's my house. Yeah, that's it. All right, cool. I understand it now. I find that guy kind of funny. I understand it now. Are you guys waiting down there for me? Screw it, whatever. But kind of being able to care about someone so deeply requires you to like yourself. I mean, you don't have to love yourself, obviously. Like, there are always going to be things that we do wrong and everything like that. But I just feel like I still very much have feelings for that person, and I'm very disappointed with how just distance alone just kills so many different things. I kind of lost track of what I was talking about, trying to find my house and get things. And sometimes that's just how I am. I'm a little bit of a scatterbrain every once in a while. I don't think I'm like medically scatterbrained or anything like ADHD or something like that, but I got a little bit distracted. That's my fault. But yeah, I mean, I I think I remember what I was talking about. It was about how life has different plans, and I thought that I had everything planned out. I was gonna eventually find a pretty good job. I was gonna support her and everything that she did, all of her birds, um, Kosei and Obi, and Buddy. I know that's a little bit of personally identifying information, but I trust that either I'm so fucking small and unknown that nobody that even knows me would be watching this besides a select few types of people, and even that I don't even care. But I it's been very hard these past 2 weeks. I mean, I truly expected to have everything with that person, just grow old together, but life told me no. And that's, at least as of right now, life told me no. Maybe I'll be back in 2 weeks from now in October and things have completely changed, and I'm the happiest guy on the planet and everything under the sun in that regard. But as it stands, with the information that I possess at the current moment, shit sucks. and and I'm still quite hurt that life has chosen a different path for me, which is kind of the whole point of me doing this. Is I don't go to therapy. I've been quite lazy about that. I probably should, but therapy is expensive, and talking to yourself on Minecraft is free. Very free, actually. So I mean, yeah, just the energy bill on the internet, I guess. Is my frame rate capped? No, it's not. Okay, that's just genuinely the frame rate that I'm getting. But I think that we're at a pretty good spot to just end it off for tonight. I mean, wait, I would like a couple more torches actually to light up the my little roof. Which this roof actually kind of reminds me of the house that I lived in the Middle East for quite a while. It was like it had a little roof that you could get out on where all the AC units were, and just kind of look out at the sunrise and the sunset. And we had this massive tower over by one of the malls that I played hockey at, and we would just sit out on the balcony. Maybe I should get a furniture mod. I think that'd be pretty cool, Mr. Crayfish's furniture mod. But I think everybody, as a good way to end this off, is take some time to step outside. If you're a car person like I am, go for a drive. Go for a drive somewhere where it's quiet, nice and pitch black, and if that's something you enjoy, then go do that. Drive under the stars, listen to your favorite music, maybe have the windows down if it's an environment that allows for it, and you don't get like sick if too much wind flies by your ears or anything like that. But anybody that's not a car person, sorry about that little tangent, but I am, so I'm going to pander towards that. Just sit under the stars, look at the moon, and kind of think about where you are, because I've been doing a lot of thinking about where I am, and as much as I'm very privileged at the with the position that I'm in, with the family and friends I have, I don't think I'm quite where I want to be at the moment. And I'd like to I'd like to do better. And I think that every single one of everybody watching this has the ability to do better. And so I challenge you guys to, whoever's watching this, I guess, is just to comment maybe what you can do better in your life, what you want to do, what your dreams and aspirations are. And just fucking go for it, man. I mean, like, I know that there's a bunch of videos out there of people telling you to just go for it. But I think you should just go for it. I know that I'm some random guy on the internet telling you to go for it, but I'm trying. I'm trying my best in this limited time we have here on this planet. And all I want is for everyone else to do the same. And so I'm going to go stand on the chest again. Look back at the house. And I'll wave you guys goodbye until the next video.